Question 13. It says a market is in equilibrium at price $5. And, let's see, market supply changes from being inelastic at each price to becoming elastic at each price. Oh, and the market equilibrium price does not change. So we're going to stay here, and market supply changed from being inelastic, here's an inelastic supply, to elastic supply at each price. Oh, what effect on consumer surplus and producer surplus? Well, the supply curve just pivots at $5. This is just a quick diagram for thinking. The supply curve just pivots, so let's say consumer surplus did not change, right? So C or D must be true. Here's consumer surplus is above the price equilibrium, and the supply curve is just pivoting here. So there's no change in consumer surplus. But if the supply changes from being inelastic to being elastic at each price, then producer surplus falls. So answer for 13 must be C. There's another related question. I think it's Summer 17, question paper 11, question 12. You can check that. But the supply curve is just pivoting, so it doesn't change consumer surplus. It changes producer surplus. And 14 says the government has introduced an effective maximum price on rice. Oh, they even told us it's effective. Okay. So, let's see. Which combination of changes must cause an existing shortage of rice to increase the most? Wow. So here's a market with an effective price, maximum price. So here's our market, supply, demand, and it's effective. We want an existing shortage to increase the most. A says fall in the maximum price and a less price elastic supply. Oh, this is related to 13. If we decrease the maximum price, that will certainly increase the shortage, right? But a less price elastic supply will shift our curve such, so that probably won't cause an increase in the shortage. Probably not. B says a fall in the maximum price, yes, and a more price elastic supply, yes. We could just change my curves to something like back to a more price elastic supply. So here's demand, here's supply. Supply is a bit inelastic, right? Here's our equilibrium, but here's our price ceiling. And if supply is more price elastic, then that will cause a decrease. That will cause an increase in the shortage by itself. So answer for 14 must be B.